Hey guys, just wanted to share a quick devotion with you. It's going to be out of Matthew chapter 28. It's going to be verses 5 through 8. So this is right after the crucifixion, and it's where Mary and Mary Magdalene are going to the tomb to prepare Jesus' body. And in verse 5 it says, "The angel said to the woman, 'Don't be afraid, for I know that you're looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, he is risen, just as he said. Come see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he is risen from the dead, and he is going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him. Now I have told you.' So the women hurried away from the tomb, afraid yet filled with joy, and ran to tell the disciples." So I was reading this earlier. Actually, it was probably a couple weeks ago now. But what God was really showing me is that Jesus goes ahead of us into our battles, wins our battles, and then he goes ahead of us into our next steps too. So in this story that we get, Jesus has just risen from the dead and won the ultimate battle for all of us. And then he goes ahead of his disciples into Galilee, which is the next place that they need to go. And so just really quickly, I just got 4 things that I just want to share with you guys that can apply to our lives. And number 1 is that when you're afraid or when you're in the middle of a battle, you have to look for Jesus, because how can we see in the dark if we don't look for the light? And so I know right now we're in a time where we might be facing fear or doubt or worry, anxiety, or we might just be feeling a little let down because we were supposed to get to do things that now we don't get to do, or things got canceled, or we're just upset because we don't get to see our friends anymore. But whatever it is, no matter how you're feeling right now, we have to look for Jesus, because he is the ultimate answer. He's the light of the world. And so he has already said that he's won the battle. He's already said that he's making a way for us and is going to use this for good. But number 2, the second thing we have to do is believe what Jesus said is true, and then we can see what he said be true. So we have to believe things like Romans 8:28, that all things are working to the good of those who love him and are called according to his purposes. We have to believe that we are children of God and that he does love us and that he is good and what he does is good. And we have to believe all these things, and then we can start seeing it manifest in our lives. And so as I was thinking about that, and as I was preparing for this message, I was trying to think of an analogy to use for that. And God just kept bringing to my mind Santa Claus. So when we're younger, we believe in Santa, and then we see the presents. And Jesus is kind of the same way, where we have to believe what he said and believe in the scriptures and believe all these things about us. And then we can start seeing them be true and seeing their true power. And then number 3 is that we have to go tell people. So this could look a lot of different ways right now, because we are in social distancing and we aren't seeing all the people that we normally see, because y'all are not in school, and we can't really even just kind of go shopping. We pretty much only can go to the grocery store, so we're not seeing people the way that we usually do. But going to tell people about what Jesus is doing in your life can look a lot of different ways. So a lot of pastors and stuff are posting devotionals on their stories, and y'all can do that too. I even think it's more powerful when y'all do it, because y'all are talking to your peers and they know you. So don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to try that, because if God calls you to something, he's not going to call you to it unless he's going to bring fruit from it. But yeah, so whatever it is that God's wanting you to share, go ahead and share it, because he might have brought you through it just to help someone else through it. And so number 4 is go meet him in your next step. So in the story, he tells the ladies to go tell the disciples to go meet him in Galilee. And that was like their next step. And so Jesus has called us all to a next step. And that might look like a lot of different things for us. It might be getting baptized when we get back to services. It might be inviting someone to church, or even to do church online with you. It might be FaceTiming someone just to check in on them. It might be sending someone a scripture that you wouldn't normally even text. It could be a lot of different things. And I think this season's really special because it opens the door to a lot of different things that we normally wouldn't be able to do, because it kind of takes the fear out of face-to-face conversation. I know for me, I'm a lot less nervous if I text someone than if I walked up to them in person and, walked up to them and said, "Hey, God told me to tell you this." I'm a lot more comfortable if I text them. And so I think this is a really good opportunity for use this as an avenue to reach people. And so, so whatever it is that God's calling you to do, whatever it is that he's laid on your heart, even if it's just starting to get in the Word, just starting a devotional, whatever it looks like for you, the question that I want to leave you guys with is, will you go? Will you go where he's calling you to go? Will you do what he's calling you to do? Because in the story, these women had to go, and if they didn't go, then none of us would be here. And that's kind of a crazy thought, that if these women hadn't been obedient and gone where Jesus was telling them to go and do what Jesus had told them to do, then none of us would be here. And so the thought that Jesus brought to my mind after, I was reading this is, I wonder who all will be here after we go. And so yeah, I just want to leave you guys with that. I love you so much. Please reach out if you need anything during this time, and I can't wait to see you on Sunday.